Good evening, everybody. It's that time again. Time to learn something new. Cryptocurrency education twice a day. Hope we got a good day so far for Wednesday. Let's see who we have on. Mr. Ross. Call him Uncle Ross. How you doing, sir? That's somebody that's known me since I was a baby. Hello, Nicholas. And I'm talking about Sheridan Ross there. Call him Skip. But then we have Ron Ross. Also, Mr. Gutierrez. Mafuz. Lashana. Barbara. Stevie Hicks. Gladys Zimmerman. Good evening. West, what's happening? Loretta. Terry Moreno. I was not in the mood to speak tonight, but crypto education does not stop. This industry is continuing to grow. New things are happening, so I had to do it anyway. I got to learn. Got to stay sharp, stay fresh. As a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be dispensing financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share suggestions, and it is up to you to make an informed decision on which direction you want to go in. There's 4 rules I live by in the crypto space. Rule number 1. Oh, and before I forget, Skip, happy anniversary. I know your anniversary was I think maybe a month ago or so. So I want to officially say that. I think you guys had 39 years of marriage, 40 years of marriage. Yeah, I remember I was a baby watching my parents in the gospel choir. The Voices of Inspiration, Compton, California. Double Rock Baptist Church. Some of you know what I'm talking about. All right, 4 rules I live by in the crypto space. Rule number 1, education is key. Rule number 2, never invest money you cannot afford to lose. Rule number 3, always get your return on investment back as fast as possible. And rule number 4, where do you see yourself 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? Take action and stay focused and don't get distracted. This does not guarantee you success, but it will at least minimize your risk, and that's the most we can ask for. All right, so let's go ahead and cover a couple of articles here. This one kind of caught my attention. Malta-based company launches new euro-backed stablecoin titled EURS. EURS. I don't know how you would pronounce that, so EURS. I'll just call it EURS. With all the controversy and mistrust surrounding Tether, it's no surprise that a multitude of new alternatives have popped up recently. The latest example is from Malta, where a company seeking a local crypto license has launched a euro-backed stablecoin, EURS. Stasis, a financial tokenization platform, has launched EURS, a new stablecoin built on Ethereum's EIP20 standard and claimed to be backed 1-for-1 by the euro. So it looks like they are trying to do what the Tether's doing. And that is actually smart. The people behind Tether are making a freaking fortune. That was genius what they did. But it took a whole lot of capital. They had to come up with that. They have to have at least $2 billion to back this. So if the euro is going to do the same thing, or this company that's starting with the euro, I wonder how much money they have back in it. Well, let me continue reading. The EURS has begun trading on one exchange already, London-based DSX, and the company says that the order volume is projected to reach 500 million by year's end. The company adds that EURS was specifically developed to satisfy growing demand for cryptocurrencies from European institutional investors. EURS bridges the gap between traditional finance and the crypto economy, commented Gregory Klumov, Stasis CEO. While cryptocurrency trading is currently dominated by individual and retail investors, Stasis and EURS will pave the way for institutional investors to enter the game and begin allocating capital. That's what's needed to take the industry to surpass the $1 trillion mark. That's true. Stasis is also revealed to be working towards obtaining a license under Malta's recently approved regulatory framework. Last week, the EU member country enacted 3 bills into law that are meant to encourage the establishment of cryptocurrency businesses on the island. These include a prohibition on insider trading, market manipulation, and misleading ads or ICO white papers. The government of Malta has been working diligently and progressively to provide legal certainty to an industry that is currently unregulated, said Silvio Scimbri, the Maltese minister responsible for financial services, digital economy, and innovation. We therefore welcome any blockchain initiatives such as Stasis that, while being innovative, will still respect and encourage compliance, and we look forward to the company applying for a license under our DLT regulatory framework. The government of Malta wants to create an environment conducive to the development of the blockchain ecosystem that will make Malta the natural destination for businesses operating in this field. I cannot give you advice, but I would suggest you might want to look towards having resources to back this company Stasis and this yours if they're trying to do what Tether did. Look at it like this. I like to break things down in layman's terms because sometimes reading articles like this can go over your head. The cryptocurrency industry is currently unregulated. It is the wild, wild west. It is the gold rush. But during the gold rush, who made the most money? It wasn't the people who actually found gold. It was the people who sold the picks and shovels. The same people who provided the financial framework to allow gold transactions to take place in the first place, to be transferred from west to east. They made the most money. Tether, for those that understand trading, know what Tether is used for. It's like how the people in the stock market use precious metals. When they get word, and they always do, don't think that insider trading ain't happening. When they get word that the stock market is about to have a major dip, all of a sudden you see them buying gold and silver. Why? To preserve their wealth, to ride out the storm. And when things calm down, then they sell their precious metals and get back in the stock game. Same thing in the cryptocurrency space. I did this. I made a killing when I got wind that the market was about to drop dramatically. Instead of selling my Bitcoin, I traded it for Tether. 1-to-1. Bitcoin dropped by 1,300 points. After it dropped and hit bottom, I sold my Tether back to Bitcoin. So I ended up with more Bitcoin than I did when I transferred to Tether in the first place. And then the market went up 2,000 points and more. I made a killing. And that's what people, here's another way of putting it. Whenever you see the entire market cap kind of go red, you'll notice Tether's a little bit in the green. When you see the entire market cap go green, you'll notice Tether is a little bit in the red. It's a safe haven zone. But every single transaction that takes place, you are paying a fee. And the people behind Tether are collecting on that fee. They are making a killing. So Stasis is smart to say, you know what? Why don't we do it with the euro? And it's not going to stop there. I'm surprised Asia hasn't done this yet with the yen or something. Oh, it's going to happen though. And it's like a light bulb just went off on my head now that I think about it. We've been looking at countries doing their national currencies like the Fed coin, the Venezuelan petro, the Russian ruble coin. But I didn't think that they might create something or use something like Tether. Have a digital currency coin backed by actual fiat money and put that on the exchange 1-to-1. That opens up a whole nother ball game for competing. So Tether, Tether has a competition now, the euro. So if the US dollar tanks, you can switch to the euro as a safe haven. Interesting. All I know is if you've got the resources to do something like this, you're going to end up becoming one of the richest people in the world. That's true. I predict within 10 years, 8 of the top 10 richest people on the planet are going to come from crypto or be involved some way with crypto in the next 10 years. Might be 5. That's my own prediction. Don't get it twisted. Bill Gates, he may be running his mouth right now, backing up his buddy Warren Buffett. But he was right when he said in 2014, Bitcoin can't be stopped. Don't think for a second he doesn't have his hands in some form of a blockchain project or Bitcoin project or part of his wealth in crypto. Of course he does. They say one thing publicly and they do something else privately. All right, that's interesting. I'm going to keep an eye on that. Next article up here. The United States of Bitcoin could soon be a reality? Huh. Again, I said it this morning. I watched a documentary the other day. That's the best documentary I've ever seen so far about blockchain technology and how it's going to impact the world. In fact, do I still have that link to that documentary? Yeah, I'll put the link to this here in the chat box again. And there's a reason why I'm bringing it up now before I read this article. So let me put this also in the chat box. This is, anybody that I'm working with, this is a must-see video. It's over an hour long. Best documentary I've seen about blockchain. All right. The United States of Bitcoin. And the reason why, because in that video, it talks about the evolution and revolution of the financial market. What defines a nation? What defines a country besides borders? Language and economy and the finances. But what happens if you remove the independent finances of each country and the entire world is now on one currency? It's not like the United States of America, it's the United World. So, let's read this and see what this is all about. A land parcel of 3,000 acres in Elko County, Nevada, could soon be called the United States of Bitcoin. What you talking about, Willis? Located between the city of Elko and the city of Wells, Bitcointopia will be the capital city of the proposed region and will use Bitcoin as its official currency. Bitcointopia is based on a vision of creating a futuristic city centered around blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies. Didn't I just read an article about Akon doing something like this in Africa? I was making fun saying he's creating Wakanda. He's launching his own coin called the A-Coin and building a city in Africa where the entire city is based and built on blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. He has the resources to do it. So now in America, looks like a group is trying to create their version of this, and they're calling it Bitcointopia. You know what? If this city does sprout out, I was having a good talk with Jairus Coleman. Me and Jairus, we're going to go down to that city and shoot some videos, being the capital of Bitcointopia. That'll be funny. Anyways, Bitcointopia will use Bitcoin as its official currency And citizens will be able to use the digital currency for paying utility bills and for all local commerce. Land for the city has been purchased already in Elko County, Nevada, with Bitcoin Inc. behind the establishment of the city, and now reselling some of its 3,000 acquired acres at a rate of zero point 0.5 BTC per acre. Morgan Rockwell, founder of Bitcointopia, spent much of his childhood in San Diego and would visit Disneyland. He said that Bitcointopia is somewhat inspired from Walt Disney's vision to build Epcot. In terms of creating a technology-centric, futuristic city, everybody wants to build Wakanda now. Rockwell sees technology as holding the keys to solutions to many of the problems plaguing current governmental and financial systems. That is true. As such, the city will become partnerships with innovators. Rockwell stated, "Eventually, we're going to try to make and partnerships with technology companies like Amazon, Google, and Tesla that want to showcase their products in Bitcointopia. They can come to open fresh land and try out their research and development projects without a mob-run city telling them how to do it. It takes effort, but we're hoping that as we build it, they will join us." Kind of like if you watch Iron Man 2, when Tony Stark had his year-long, what did he call that? Like convention, city convention, where all scientists and innovators can come and innovate and do what they do. Scientific stuff. The project's vision goes beyond the city of Bitcointopia to include the potential for seceding from the USA. All right, now you're going a little bit too far now. The official statement on the website reads, "Bitcointopia will be the capital of the new nation we are proposing to be formed under the legal standard of the Treason Act of 1492, the Treaty of Westphalia in 1648, the Montevideo Convention in 1934, the Outer Space Treaty of 1966, international law, U.S. constitutional law under Article 5, and the Inter-Micronational Treaty Organization of 2011. And you know what? All of that is going to fail. The best chance they have is try to go under whatever laws that they can mandate, trying to say that they're an Indian reservation. Outside of that, there ain't going to be no seceding from the Union. You can cut that noise out right now. But it's a good idea that they're trying to propose. It's gonna make a whole lot of noise. In an interview with Vice, Rockwell made clear that the main focus now is to create a community that works better than what can be observed in the U.S. currently. There is an emphasis not only on technology, but on sustainability and transparency of governance. Rockwell said, "I wanted to bring a community together where Bitcoin becomes the government instead of these old mobsters." I have no problem with that. I agree with them. Land records available at the county assessor's office suggest that 10 acres of land in Elko County have been registered under the title of Bitcointopia Inc. Rockwell, however, claims that he has registered over 170 acres of land already. It could be possible that other estates have been registered under a different name. The aim with Bitcointopia is to acquire, redevelop, and sell 10,000 acres of land. It may prove to be very difficult to find that much land for sale in Elko County, though. Meanwhile, the cryptocurrency city is slowly turning into a reality, with the progress visible to some extent on the ground. Rockwell said, "We're building this in a very compartmentalized, step-by-step way. Right now, the funding is out of my pocket, land sale revenue and investment from others. Although there might be legal and political challenge for an autonomous United States of Bitcoin to operate freely, Rockwell is convinced that his vision will become reality, and notably though, he was indicted in February 2018 by authorities on charges of using Bitcoin for money laundering and hiding profits from illegal sale of marijuana." I don't see this actually happening, but I see this setting a precedence for another group of doing it in the United States or elsewhere. Last year, I remember reading an article about them creating these islands or flotillas, cities out on the sea in international waters that is independent, completely self-dependent, and running on crypto. Saying, would you like to be a city or a citizen of these little island countries or island nations? So we'll see where that goes. All right, the last article. I find this interesting. Crypto wallet founder believes Bitcoin could hit $60,000 this year. Let's see what he's talking about. Cryptocurrency values have taken a hit as of late, but movement on the regulatory front has lifted many observers' spirits. One crypto startup executive believes Bitcoin's price could hit $60,000 this year, despite its dip from a near $20,000 high in December to the $6,000 range. Julian Hosp, co-founder and president of 10x, a crypto wallet, told CNBC during the Rise Tech conference in Hong Kong that he expected to see Bitcoin's price fall to $5,000 when it reached its December highs, and he remains confident that a $60,000 price this year is feasible. Hosp acknowledged that a major positive event will be needed to achieve the $60,000 price this year. Such an event could be a country making a positive announcement about Bitcoin or a Bitcoin exchange traded fund coming to fruition. I disagree. To address this, you need to understand why it's dropped in the first place. And I personally believe, this doesn't mean that I'm correct, but I believe that market manipulation is taking place, that the big boys in the CME, which is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and the Chicago Board of what is it called? CBOE. I forgot what that means. Chicago Board something. I believe that they're doing market manipulation and purposely keeping the market down so that they can hoard as many Bitcoins as possible. So the market will rise when they say so. Has nothing to do with some good news or anything out there. I think the big boys are playing a game right now. That's my personal. That doesn't mean I'm right. Do your own research and come to your own conclusion. So he says, should such an event not occur, Hosp admitted it will take more time for Bitcoin to reach $60,000. He said the price will need to surpass the $10,000 mark by August. Should this happen, media coverage will be positive, making the $60,000 price possible. I don't agree with that either. If you look at what happened in 2017, this time a year ago, Bitcoin was in the $2,000 range. It went from that all the way until, November, before it hit $5,000. And then for the next 6-7 weeks, it went on a tear. Went from like 5,000 to 19,800 in 6 weeks. So I don't think it needs to hit $10,000 by August. More importantly, is look at where is it in October and November. And that is only if we are using the same logic as what happened in 2017. The problem with that projection, again, is the CME and the CBOE. But here's what I told Jairus earlier today. With the market being manipulated and purposely being held back, it's like a rubber band. And you're constantly holding that rubber band back from snapping. And the longer you hold it, the more resistance that is starting to build up, the more energy. So when you release it, it's going to snap back so fast because it's been held back for so long. That is how I think when it does snap, it's going to skyrocket way past 20K. Once it hits a plateau, when all those people decide they're ready to pull out some profits, And the moment the whales start to pull out profit, whether it's at $50,000, $60,000, you're going to see the market correct and drop by 60 to 70%. And then bounce around in between that zone for months. This is my own personal opinion. And I cannot guarantee that's what's going to happen. That's just my own, how I am looking at building my crypto portfolio based on that information, that type of knowledge. So, while many crypto observers view regulatory activity as positive, regulatory scrutiny has put downward pressure on cryptocurrency prices. Many observers were relieved when the U.S. SEC stated this month that Ether and Bitcoin are not securities. Joseph Lubin, an Ethereum co-founder and founder of the Consensus blockchain software company, said Ethereum developers are focused on building infrastructure and that the community is not preoccupied with price. That is true. The big boys are not concerned about the price of the industry right now. They know where it's going to be in 5 years. They're playing the long ball game. It's the average person who don't know jack squat about crypto who's freaking out because they bought it at 12,000 and now it's down to 6,000. Got to look at the big picture here. So it said, Lubin said any price movement up or down is good for Ethereum, since it draws attention to the Ethereum ecosystem from technologists and entrepreneurs, all of which drives its value. In other words, any news is good news, whether good or bad. In the last 24 hours, Bitcoin has struggled to rebound from 6,350 despite some positive indicators. The crypto market as a whole has not been able to gain momentum to enable a rally in the next 48 hours. Based on the past 3 days, a Bitcoin fall below the $6,000 mark is more likely. All right, that is it for crypto news for Late Night Crypto Talk. Go and listen to that documentary I posted. I'm probably going to watch that thing 5 to 10 times. I'll have it going on in the background while I'm doing other work, so I can soak that knowledge in. Your biggest asset right now is not what's in your crypto portfolio, is not how many Bitcoins you currently own or altcoins. Your biggest asset is going to be your knowledge of the cryptocurrency and distributed ledger technology. That is your biggest asset going forward in the future. Those who recognize this and invest in their education for crypto are going to be light years ahead of everybody else. This is why I do not one but 2 crypto talks a day. Not because I want to be entertaining. Not because I'm branding myself. For my own knowledge. Because this knowledge can save you hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it can also make you millions. It is priceless. So doing it through Facebook Live actually forces me to read these articles because I can be lazy at times and figure, yeah, I'll get to it sometime. I'll get to it whenever, and I actually never get to it. So by doing a Facebook Live, it's forcing me to be on a set schedule to make sure that I'm spending, I didn't think about this till the other day. I spend at least 3 to 4 hours a day reading and studying and learning more about the crypto industry and blockchain. So to think about that for a second. 3 to 4 hours a day at least is what I invest my time. That doesn't include, presentations and 3-way calls and that kind of stuff. Just on gaining information and knowledge on this industry. 3 to 4 hours a day. Multiply that times 30 days a week. What are you doing? So with that, and those of you that listens to me, you're getting the same education. You just have the opportunity to just listen. So congratulations on that. And I appreciate you taking time out and listening to me. I would do this if I only had one listener anyway. So with that, you guys have a great evening. We'll be back tomorrow morning with early morning crypto talk. Thursday's my Money Thursday, I call it. We've had a great week so far this week. The mining machines is off the hook. Congratulations to those of you who already bought mining machines. If this turns out just 25% right of what we project it's going to be, it still is going to change your life. Just 25% right. So congratulations to those of you who have purchased the GreenX mining machines. The next industry to be disrupted is power. Going from centralized power to decentralized power. You're going to hear a lot about this. So good evening, everybody. God bless. Good night. See you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.
Crypto Gen X.